Hey everybody, it is I, Gregg Bossen, and welcome to QuickTips. This is a little e-newsletter that gets sent out once a month from QuickBooks Made Easy for Nonprofits. And this tip is for the month of October 2019. And it is something that we've been getting a lot of calls about. So I felt like it was kind of important to give you a little quick tip on it. Has to do with getting rid of zeros on reports. We have tech support agreements where people call us up and we can even dial into your software and answer questions. And we've been getting a lot of questions on from people that are wanting to get rid of zeros on the report. So I want to show you how you can get rid of a line on a report with a zero in it if you don't want it. A lot of people don't want it. It's like it's zero. Why do I need it on the report? So I'm going to show you how to get rid of the accounts with zeros, but in the process, I'm going to teach you why they're there in the first place. So let's see. So we're looking at a little P&L here, and here is an account with a zero. And before I go any further, I do want to say, if you do have an expense account called fundraising costs or fundraising expenses, you actually should not have that. Accounts are for our natural categories. And then we're going to use classes to track program admin and fundraising. So you really shouldn't have an account for that. We talk all about that in our full training. We actually have a 3-day webinar series coming up next month where we're going to talk about that amongst a bunch of other things. But anyway, so how to get rid of zeros on the report. So what we're going to do, I'm going to scroll it to the top, and this tip is obviously for those using the online edition of QuickBooks. That's what we're looking at here. And but you see this show non-zero or active only. If you go to the white box underneath it and click the drop down, you're going to see both for rows and columns. You're going to see 3 choices. We're worried about rows right now. Active, all, and non-zero. So if you push non-zero, then it's going to get rid of any lines that have a zero in the row. Okay, you can do the same thing for columns, but we're worried about a row right now. But I did want to explain to you why the zero is here in the first place. The default position on reports is that it's going to show all rows that are active. So what does active mean? What that means is that during the time period that we're referring to in the report, this is for July 1 through October 7th, the account was used in a transaction. So I'm going to double click on the zero, or just click on it once. Well, no, I got to double click. Well, maybe I didn't, but anyway. If you will notice, there are transactions in this account. Now, even though the transactions are kind of ins and outs, so this goes to zero, it's still going to appear because it was used during that time period. Therefore, it's considered active. And you can just see what somebody did here was they pointed 3 checks to the fundraising cost expense account, and then maybe they came to one of my webinars or came to a live class or something, and they realized, we don't need to be pointing stuff to this. So rather than repointing each one individually, they did a journal entry. I'm going to click on the journal entry here, and you can see basically they moved the total dollar amount out of that account, pointed it to where it's supposed to be, and then used the fundraising class so they can get a tracking of their fundraising costs without cluttering up their chart of accounts, which should only be used using natural categories. But anyway, after doing that, that effectively zeroed out the account. But since the account was used, even though it's zero, it's going to appear. And the reason why it's going to appear is because the default position is if the account row was active, it's going to be used. But if I click non-zero, I'll click non-zero, and then I'll run the report. And now you'll see that the account is completely gone. So all the zeros are gone. Okay. So, and you can use this on all the reports. And just in case you're wondering, if you click all and then I'll run the report, that's going to show basically your entire chart of accounts list regardless of whether it's been used or not. See, so here's all these accounts with nothing in them because they've never been used. It's basically your whole chart of accounts list. So all is all of your accounts, period, in your chart. Active are the ones that have been used, even though the ins and outs may net to zero. And then non-zero, well, that's just the ones that have a number in them. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you. I'll go ahead and keep it at non-zero because I like that just like you do. And if you enjoyed listening to me and you feel like you could learn from me, I recommend you come to our upcoming 3-day webinar series that's happening next month. So it's 2 hours a day. Uh, just think about how fun that's going to be to listen to me and talk to me for 2 hours a day and learn all about QuickBooks for nonprofits. All right, and I hope to see you there. And I love you. Take care. Bye-bye.